Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to check out the Necromancer tank build for the Elsweyr chapter. I am Alcast from alcasthq.com. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. In the first part of the video I want to quickly go over my setup, and in the second part I want to talk a little bit more about skills and options you have, because there's a lot of things that the Necromancer tank can do where other classes kinda struggle. There's also a written guide on my website, link in the description below. These are our stats unbuffed. We have a lot of extra max health, max stam and max magic, and we need it. Just make sure that your max stam is more than max magicka, because when you pick up spear synergy or orb synergy, it will restore the higher resource, and max stamina is more important. We also have really nice spell and physical resistance, and obviously fully buffed. I have screenshots fully buffed and unbuffed on the website. We're basically at the resistance cap. Lord Mundus Stone. We are using the tri-stat buff food, like always, and tri-stat potions. If you want to know how to craft this, it's on the website. They're simply the best. Also quite expensive, so you could also run Crown Store tri-stat potions if you have some left over. Currently, I'm a stage 4 vampire. I would recommend being one because of the undeath passive. It's just really strong. Reduces your damage taken by up to 33% based on your missing health while you're below 50%. Sure, you take more fire damage, but usually this is kinda more important. Now, if you really feel that you die a lot because of fire damage, you could reduce your stage. But trust me, this is worth it. So I can highly recommend. But in case you don't want to be a vampire, you can also make it work without, don't worry. Race, Argonian or Nord are the two top ones. Argonians are nice because they have the easiest resource management. When you activate the potion as an Argonian, you get extra resources back. So it's really easy to manage your resources. On a Nord, you get higher resistance and ultimate regen, which on a Necromancer is really kinda crazy how fast you can regenerate ultimate. I will get into that more when we talk about the skills. So we have this here, more ultimate, max stam, max health, just overall really nice. Gear, pretty basic setup, Ebon, Warden, Ring of Alcasthq. Ebon gives you more max health, so for you and the group, that means people will most likely die less because they have more max health. Lord Warden, same thing. This here is just nice because it gives resistance to you and the group, so they take less damage. And as you can see, we have 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium because of Undaunted, so we get 6% overall more stats. Chest is reinforced. I usually use small pieces, sturdy health enchants, and on the big ones infused, or basically on these two, infused with tri-stat. It's all on the website. The last set is Ring of Alcasthq. Once again, you can actually activate your own synergy on a Necromancer tank. That's why I actually really like Alcasthq. Alcasthq debuffs the enemy's resistance, so your group members do more damage. I have a lot of good tanking sets listed up on the website, so this is just one possible option. Very important to notice. All infused jewelry with shield play enchants. You don't necessarily need 3 shield play enchants, so you could make it work with 2-2. You kinda need to decide that on your own. Shield is infused, tri-stat. Then we have a decisive axe with a weakening enchant on the front bar, and the shock staff on the back bar with the infused crusher enchant. A lot of people ask me, why do you use a lightning staff? So technically you could run a frost staff if you also want to tank on the back bar. The main reason why we use a two-handed weapon on the back bar is because the enchantments get cut in half on a one-handed weapon. And to get the full value of the crusher enchant, which is really important, because you can keep this up almost 100%, right? And it's 2.1k physical and spell resistance that you remove from the enemy. That's a lot of extra damage with the infused enchant. That's why we have it on the back bar. And this keeps proccing So I can activate my blockade, and this will keep proccing, even though I'm on the front bar, as long as blockade is on the ground. That's why it's so nice. On top of that, blockade gives us other benefits, like off balance, which will make enemies probably take more damage depending on your CP setup, and you restore more resources if you do a heavy attack. There's a lot of really nice and neat stuff. But again, if you don't feel comfortable with this, you could run two, like basically sword and board on both bars, or ice stuff, which also is nice for tanking. Champion points real quick. On the website, I do have 300, 600 and 810 setups. I also do have red champion points for every trial in a separate article in the trial section. And we do have a champion points calculator on Skillbook. I will also put the link in the description in case you don't have max champion points or you're a little bit confused. It will actually calculate it for you. Skills. Once again, this is just one possible option. Just quickly going over it so you can see or understand, and then we will talk about the skills. Agony Totem, Heroic Slash, Pierce Armor, Spirit Guardian, Ruinous Scythe, Warhorn, Necrotic Potency, this is the juicy skill, Blockade of Storms, Avid Boneyard, Inner Rage, Beckoning Armor, and Ravenous Goliath. So that's the basic setup that I use for now. Before we continue, make sure to not forget to subscribe and hit that juicy like button, very much appreciated. Now there's a few very good passives like Disdain Harm, which reduces your damage over time, effect damage taken, by 10%. You get more health through this and more magic and stamina recovery through Confederate. These will always be up because I have my Ghost here, and on the back bar we have the Beckoning Armor. So you don't need to really worry about the passives. Just make sure this is up 16 seconds and this is 20 seconds, so they're fairly easy to keep up. Other than that, I highly recommend leveling up medicinal use. Will make your potions run longer, so you have better sustain. Talking about the setup, there's a lot of good options you have. Once again, Agony Totem, kind of like your CC tool. It fears enemies in place after 2 seconds, gives your group members 8% damage mitigation, and when somebody activates the synergy, the enemies take 8% more damage, so it's very powerful. Heroic Slash increases your ultimate regen, 1 ulti every 1.5 seconds. It also applies minor maim. And the ultimate regen is really nice because if we are a Nord, we get even more ultimate, and because of necrotic potency, 6 ultimate per corpse. This thing here can make your ulti go from 0 to 200 in like 2 seconds if you have enough corpses on the ground. It's really strong. If you want to get even more ulti, you could replace Warden with Bloodspawn, another option you have. Pierce Armor, your main debuff tool, and Taunt, like always. Spirit Guardian, this also reduces your damage taken once again. 10% damage is transferred to the Ghost. Ruinous Scythe. Now, especially on Trashback, this makes your health go from 10k to 40k in one go if you have enough enemies. Because it heals for so much, it scales off max health, and so on. This is your flex spot kind. I will talk more about this in a second. Aggressive Warhorn to boost the damage of your group. Once again, this is mostly here to gain all the ultimate. Blockade of Storms, keep this up. Deals damage, procs off balance, procs your Crusher enchant on the back bar. Avid Boneyard, you can use your own synergy, or you can let the damage dealer use it. Up to you. Range Taunt, Beckoning Armor for all the resistance buffs, plus enemies that actually attack you will get pulled towards you, which is really nice. And the Goliath form, which is basically God mode, because in this build we will have like 80k health. You're not gonna die. But it's just a very defensive ultimate. It's fun to use, but usually Warhorn or Colossus are better. So now talking about what options you have. First off, ultimate. A lot of tanks use Colossus or just Necromancer in general because it gives you major vulnerability, 30% increased damage on the enemy for 5 seconds. It says 3 seconds, but in reality it's like 5 because it counts from the first hit, second hit, third hit, and then 3 seconds. That's about 5 seconds. And obviously with our ultimate gen, this is really powerful. Next up, talking about this spot, you can use a lot of different abilities here. Ghostly Embrace, kind of like an immobilization tool on trash bags, roots your enemies. We also could run something like Mortal Coil, restore stamina while you siphon a corpse, also gives heals back. So that would be another option. Next option, Expansion Modify, cleanse debuff from you. It costs a little bit of health, so keep that in mind. Plus, while slotted, the cost of all your abilities are reduced by 3%. So that's also very powerful. You can also run Psychic Deep Thoughts. First off, obviously, this gives a lot of magicka and stamina and health back while you channel it, but you cannot block while you channel it. On top of that, if you have a Psychic ability slotted, you get a shield for 5k. Can be helpful. Now, while you're channeling, you also gain major protection, so you take 30% less damage. Really strong. Speed buff could also go here in case you want to go, like you just want to get through a dungeon or a trial faster. There's a lot of good options. And once again, these are just options you have. It should be a base for your build. If you don't like something, change it out. Maybe one more thing about resource management. Revitalize. If you do heavy attacks in heavy armor, and obviously we run heavy armor because we're a tank, it will restore 25% more resources, so it's very important to do them. And on sword and board it actually doesn't take long to do them, which is really nice. Just keep in mind while you do a heavy attack, you can't block. One more thing, you could actually also run Spell Sim, because we have quite a bit of magic abilities. 1, 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a lot of magic abilities. Either use Deep Thoughts or Spell Sim. Spell Sim is nice because you can use it while blocking, but you will lose a little bit of health. Keep that in mind. Showcasing the outfit, and once again, if you have any questions, you can always join on twitch.tv/alcasthq. I live stream a lot and I'm happy to answer questions, or you can join our community partner Discord, where I also usually answer questions, or there's always people there that have answers ready. You can also show off your fashion skills there if you want. Please make sure to not forget to subscribe and hit the juicy like button, very much appreciated. There's a few more videos right here if you're interested. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.